We will now move into a special segment titled Reconditioning Education, Bridging the Lowest with the Smartest, with Professor Anand Khatri, Dr. Maria, and joining us with videos, messages are Dr. Binumol Tom and Dr. Manju. This session focuses on brownfield development and technology in design education, especially AI and VR-based urban village studies. We will also have You will hear a mix of talks, videos, and reflections from the team behind the Powerful Nation program supported by COA, NIUA, and University of Navre. I request Professor Jayashree Deshpande, Director COA TRC, to kindly felicitate Dr. Anand Khatri. I also request Jayashree ma'am to kindly also felicitate Dr. Maria. Thank you so much, ma'am. We will also have the launch of publication capturing this journey, titled The Research Grid, VR and AI Capacity Building Studio Enabling Brownfield Development Studies. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be concluding a 6-month-long journey here, which we initiated with the University of Navarra, Council of Architecture, and 10 celebrated institutions who were working with us earlier on brownfield studies. I am a professor of architecture, and I am also the founder of UVCT, Urban Village Charitable Trust. Within the domain of architecture, we try to talk about villages and urban villages, telling architects that while we are specialists in design and space and building space, we really do not have insight, or rather much insight, into understanding how to reach the masses. I have been telling my students that while a doctor can attend to a rickshawala and also to the most celebrated person in the society, architects do not deviate from their mainstream thinking and stoop down, or rather look into carefully into the prospects of design which require the masses. With this particular thinking, we were 16 of us who got together in 2016-15 era and started Urban Village Charitable Trust. We progressed, we did conferences and published, we wrote G20 policies, and over and over as we did all this, we realized that we needed something more. We were sitting very far behind in the backdrops of villages and urban villages, walking streets, looking at lanes, walking around broken roads and sewers. That is when this whole ideation with Dr. Maria on understanding these problems through the new lens came. The whole idea was such that the way we rewrite everything in languages, the way we research everything in languages, VR and AI is the future language. So we wanted to address brownfield studies in this future language. And that is what brought this project into happening. The 10 institutions who were with us and the teams from the University of Navarra, which taught VR and AI, along with all the team leaders, is what I'm going to present in this small video, which will be followed by a brief talk by Dr. Maria, and then I'll speak to you on some details of the project before we do the launch of the summary. I'm very happy some of our team leaders, Dr. Gauri, Dr. Kanika, Dr. Harveen, Dr. Maria herself, Vivek V from MCAP, and so many others here are present, and they have been with us on this journey for the last 6 months. I will play the video because that's the best way to talk less. Thank you. I will break in between for a minute to, tell you a little on this second slide, which talks about how we took our unique positionings, how the University of Navarra, with the backdrop of VR and AI, how the vision of Professor Abhay on capacity building within institutions of architecture, and how the combined agenda of UVCT and NIUA, who is our knowledge partner, on working on brownfield policies for convergence with reality and will to action got together to do these things. So these were the bodies involved. While Erasmus E4TLI was the fund which funded this whole project, the University of Navarra professors taught the students. Council of Architecture was also a co-sponsorer, and the body which actually put vision into this particular exercise along with the rest.
Experience, of course, education at all levels, even in health or e-commerce. The characteristics of the virtual reality are seen the base to understand that it creates a completely immersive computer-generated environment that user can interact through a headset or the devices. You can use them also. Can be made renders, as you know, during the planning stage of the construction of a quarter or a building of a skyscraper, and something is possible to visualize exactly how the space can look, the shape of the wall,
Following the lectures, these were presentations made by institutions. It was fairly long. They're all up on our YouTube. And we will share the links for these presentations, but you can view a summary of these here. when we made a breakthrough. We experimented on augmented reality here. Every professor, every team member who's being mentioned in this part right now has worked very hard to identify a very unique site, starting from challenging sites like Ottawa and Burrell in Chandigarh, to Nizamuddin Basti in Delhi, to urban villages in Greater Noida. They have picked up very, very unique areas and worked on them, Chalai and so on and so forth. And they have presented their work during the process. What did we achieve? We achieved a very strong research grid, which we invite every other institution who is willing to work further with us on to join. We are also coming up with 3 publications, the details of which would be in the document which we have shared. We have agreed on the agenda of envisioning brownfield policy, which is strengthened through the use of VR and AI. And we ultimately achieved the aim of the Council of Architecture, and what Professor Abhay has always talked to me about, is capacity building amongst institutions. The transdisciplinary thing which he mentions every time, that we need to open up architecture to so many other fields. In fact, in the last publication from the last conference, international conference, which was steered by Professor Jayashree, we have talked adequately about it on mentioning sociology and economics as examples. I'll move further with messages from Dr. Manju, who is in Japan and could not join this event in person, and Dr. Binu, before I invite Dr. Maria, who is in person here from Spain, to speak to you. These were some very interesting experiments which failed.
Hello, everyone. My warm greetings to all the distinguished guests, respected colleagues, and dear participants. It is my honor and pleasure today to address you all at this prestigious gathering of architects, designers, urban planners, and thinkers who are united by a shared vision, by a shared commitment to shaping a better future for India and for the world. Our world is fast urbanizing, and it's climate challenged and a conflict-ridden world today. And we at UBCT also, deal with these kind of ideologies a lot. We discuss about urban and rural, modern versus traditional, formal versus informal, the old versus new, the rigid versus flexible, and etc. and so on. And with this this thought in mind, that why can't we look at the most the traditional, the old way of life, and also the conflicting urbanized perspective on urban villages and brownfield studies, which have immense challenges. Why can't we look at this with the most futuristic technologies available today, So this idea itself was very exciting for us. And today, my short message here is on behalf of the core organizing team of VR and AI Capacity Building Studio for Brownfield Studies. And I take immense pride in speaking briefly about it. The studio has actually emerged a real success for us. We are humbled by it, and it was conceptualized to explore the persistent challenges of urbanization through the lens of emerging technologies, as I mentioned. And by the sheer response that we have received from all members of the UBCT research grid, it is overwhelming and humbling to see that we have been able to touch many aspects of knowledge dissemination and capacity building and design thinking and technological nuances through this studio. This is a collaborative effort, definitely, and brings together international and national partners and represents a very meaningful convergence of advanced tools and deep academic engagement as well. Allow first and foremost to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our international collaborators from ETSA, University of Navarra, Spain, and our knowledge partners, the Council of Architecture and National Institute of Urban Affairs. Their expertise, their insights, their support have been invaluable in this endeavor. And we are also profoundly thankful to the generous sponsorships provided by two of our main sponsors. One is the E4TLI program for the Erasmus Plus initiative of the European Union and the Council of Architecture India. Their sponsorships together ensured that we could provide free VR headsets to all the participating institutions, which enabled the educators and students to access advanced visualization tools continuously at their own free will to experiment, to explore. And we also believe that they will continue to do so beyond the scope of this studio as well, which is the intention of this program. Now, let me also mention that the success that we are celebrating today is a direct result of the energy and dedication demonstrated by the participating institutions. 10 premier architecture and design institutes from all over India with their dynamic teams on full complete 16 teams consisting of faculties and students working together hand in hand as a part of the UBCT research grid towards the development of the brownfield policy for urban villages has been an incredible teamwork. It has been truly inspiring to witness their meaningful use of the provided hardware and also the soft knowledge of VR and AI. And they not only, went ahead to address the real-world challenges and designs and proposals on urban villages and historic areas and streets and public spaces, etc. But they went way ahead and even used these VR glasses for community engagement in a very unprecedented and interesting way. I'm sure you will be able to see those glimpses in the videos that are shared, which are publicly available. Under the esteemed guidance of the professors from ETSA, University of Navarra, led by Professor Asier, Dr. Maria Belen and their team, this program achieved a synthesis of technological proficiency and contextual design thinking. I think it is nothing short of commendable. The lectures, the interactive workshops, discussions, and feedbacks are of immense value. They were of immense value to the students and participants, and also to people like us, people like me. We were all learning together in the studio. It was really enjoyable experience for me as well. And I think it's an example, it's a demonstration of what is possible when global expertise meets local talent. And I believe that the integration of PR and AI into design education is not merely a technological step up. It's actually a transformation in design thinking, and these tools are enabling designers to actually bring together a lot of complex elements of built environment and making them easier to integrate, let's say, GIS data, analysis of land uses, and large data sets, algorithms, etc. And also bring together crafting of immersive design narratives, and even community engagement, as we saw in this particular studio as well. These were previously unimaginable. And so as we celebrate the completion of the first round, or we can say first phase of this studio, I'm also pleased to announce our commitment to publish the research, the design proposals, the insights, the applications developed during the studio by various teams. And this forthcoming book will not only document our learnings, but also, offer a blueprint for future explorations in digitally enabled, sustainable design practices. And we're also enthusiastic about the second phases of this program, maybe even a wider reach, different institutes, or repeating with same institutes, and wider outreach and impact is expected. And once again, I extend my heartiest congratulations to all the participants who are receiving their certifications today, and my earnest thanks once again to everyone who has contributed to the success of this exceptional initiative. Thank you all. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Thanks.
So today, 243 participants get their certificates through this particular process, and they are being mailed to the team leaders, and that is how we conclude the program today, along with the book launch after this. I'm very happy, we are very thrilled, and it's a very big day for us, and I am really thankful to D.Y. Patil and Council of Architecture for allowing us stage to conclude this program. It has been a lot of effort, Now, as a continuation of this process, Professor Dr. Binumol Tom, who is also a part of the Council of Architecture, is sharing her vision on how to build this in the curriculum of architecture. So we are all to work together and develop a coursework which can help us build the right set of ethics and the right set of processes for inculcating VR and AI in the design studio. So here is Binu's message before I invite Dr. Maria to carry the program further.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be before you, though virtually, to speak on a topic that is not only futuristic, but increasingly urgent, incorporating AI and VR in architecture curriculum. So for incorporating AI and VR into the VR curriculum, we need to catch the students quite young by giving them a foundation year exposure, where we introduce basic modules of AI, also teach them ethics of using AI, then design logic and immersive visualization. So simple exercises using platforms like Midjourney or DALL-E for conceptual explorations will help get them an introduction to AI at the first year itself. Then maybe at the second year level or maybe at a higher level, we need to look for studio integration with AI and VR. So in the core design studios, AI-based tools, maybe such as SpaceMaker, Autodesk Forma, etc. can be integrated. I'm sure the list is quite an exhaustive one, to assist students in optimizing design outcomes. So design thinking plus data thinking should go hand in hand. And then comes the biggest job of establishing VR labs and also developing collaborations. So institutions should invest a lot on, developing VR labs where students can build and test modules using tools like Unity, Enscape, Twinmotion, which I'm sure many of our students, at least at the thesis level, are using these, but it can become more, legally accepted by the teaching fraternity. And then collaborations with other universities, as well as technical startups. And game designers can also open new avenues for our teaching learning process. So further, we can have elective courses or minor specializations offering AI-assisted parametric design. I'm sure many institutions have already got into it. then neural network-based simulations, or immersive heritage documentation, which also I'm sure many of us are into it. So this will all encourage research on smart cities, urban villages, AI in disaster resilience, and urban analytics, which we teach otherwise the theory part to our students. And then finally, at the thesis level, where we need to encourage final year students to use AI and VR in their design process, not just for presentation, but for analysis, simulation, and decision making. Imagine a thesis that studies user interaction in a proposed public space through VR immersion. We are bound to get something that is real to life answers for that if properly done by the student. And now, since we know this is what we are in for, we need to find a multi-faceted approach for putting this into a teaching learning process. So maybe providing an understanding of theory and concepts, hands-on application from the very beginning stage, and then integration of design projects like the one which we have done with the University of Navarra, Council of Architecture, and UVCT, incorporating 10 institutions using AI and VR to study urban realities, especially focusing on urban villages. And I'm sure the book launch will bring you to the understanding of how this helped in our studio. And now the multi-million question, how do we do it? So our educators are the torchbearers. So we need to give comprehensive training programs to upskill faculty members in these new technologies and pedagogical approaches, maybe in terms of workshops, and I'm sure COA would take a lead in this, certification programs, and perhaps even sabbaticals, if universities agree, focused on industry immersion. And then the strong ties with architectural firms and tech companies are also very important in this case. We also need to look at investing in dedicated AI VR labs with high performance computing. Obviously, if it is not a standalone architecture school, when we have other engineering branches, this is possible to develop or to have a collaboration with the computer science department or the MCA department, so on and so forth. And obviously, having VR headsets and necessary software licenses for a foundational requirement per se. So the convergence of AI and VR is not merely changing how we design, it is redefining the very essence of architectural practice. It empowers us to create more intelligent, sustainable, human-centric, and truly experiential spaces. By proactively integrating these technologies into VR curriculum, we are not just preparing students for a future that is coming, but we are empowering them to actively shape it. So let us embrace this technological revolution with open minds and a commitment to innovation, ensuring that Indian architects remain at the forefront of global design, crafting a built environment that is both visionary and deeply responsive to the needs of its people. To conclude, AI and VR are not here to replace architects, but to expand our vision, refine our tools, and elevate our craft. They are allies that challenge us to think deeper, design smarter, and communicate better. In India, where diversity and complexity in the built environment are immense, our forefathers have proved that. These tools can help create solutions that are both intelligent and inclusive. The question then is not if we should adopt AI and VR in architectural practice and education, but how quickly and meaningfully we can do it. Let us be the generation that embraces this change, not with fear, but with curiosity, responsibility, and vision. Thank you for your patient listening. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. I now invite Dr. Maria, who is the founder of MBM Associates, and she is a part of the Erasmus funding also. She steered the leadership through which we connected with the University of Navarra to share her thoughts on the program. Welcome, Dr. Maria.
Good morning, everyone. Let me see which one is it. one? Yeah. Yeah, it's coming. So good morning, everybody. I'm really honored to be in this platform. And first time I've been invited to this university. I'm really grateful of being here. And I'm really honored also to be part of this project that I think if someone someday can be discouraged, or at least if I am discouraged, I will read the feedback of the students, okay, that if maybe in Christmas, because this program started in January, in Christmas, someone who had told me how this vision that Dr. Anand had and Manju also had, and they involved me on this, no? I would never thought that the students who have been the main people attending this course were going to see such moving things. I would say it's not only that they have learned, no, how they have learned and how they have participated. So it's been an honor for all of us, and I think that everybody will agree. And actually, this morning I have met many people in person who I have met on the screen for 6 months, okay? So first of all, I want to say I'm going to be very brief, but I wanted to share that this has been possible thanks to Erasmus Plus project, because this, along with the University of Navarre and the School of Architecture of the University of Navarre, my company, MBM, that is based here in India, we are both part of a larger group who are working in this educational for technological literacy and inclusion that aims at teaching technologically or literate technologically to those who are not, let's say, technologically literate, okay? We are very good professionals, but we knew little, at least I knew little of these tools, no? So when this program allowed my company MBM to be part of it, is because of the last word, inclusion, okay? So I was actually the first Indian company that has been participating in this kind of European Union funded projects that they fund so that the project, whatever knowledge is shared freely and is accessible for all. That's why India was part of it, and it was my aim to reach or to reach out to more people to share these courses that are free and available, and anyone can access to it. No? So that's what we thought, okay, let's try to make it happen, thanks to the UVCT that also had the platform. But something that in the beginning maybe started like a project-based image generation, no? Let's see how we can teach our students, how we can, not only the students, for me in this project, key people have been the leaders. Okay, these young assistant professors, these people who are still not maybe, have not reached their PhD, and they have been key, no, in the success of this project. But I would rephrase, no, the reconditioning education, no, towards bringing the gap in experience, resources, and skills, no. And this is something that Dr. Manju also said, and I loved it, okay, when I heard that expression yesterday when I saw her video, no? When global experience meets local talents. The outcome of this project has been beyond any expectation. Why? Because there were people, let's say, sharing the experience, sometimes even in a language the students were not understanding because of the accent, because of even the mindset was completely different. But it worked because younger generations are smarter, okay? They have been born in these new technologies. You give them the tool and they are capable to reach where we have never dreamt, okay? Actually, and one of the things also when I want to share is that this knowledge sharing, no, it works both ways. It's not that the professors came and they gave us wonderful sessions and then, no, and I met one of the professors 10 days ago in Spain, and he was telling me, I learned a lot. I learned a lot, okay, from the youth taking that maybe that tool, and maybe with the insights of the senior people, and they have made it. So that's why I wanted to bring here when I say it works both ways, because it has been a program that has brought this intergenerational platform. When this morning Stuti was saying to us, when she started and when she was, how her grandparents were sharing the traditions with her, and how she has become an outstanding designer working in Chicago. From that is what this virtually we have been able to come to. So we have the young students, the assistant professors, and the senior professors, and that intergenerational. That virtual reality virtual platform help has been key in this success. And then the intercultural. And this is something that also intercultural in the sense, I also put in here, which are my favorite comments during I have put 4, I could have put, I don't know how many more, This was the professor giving the session, and usually the comments were, please maintain your identity, okay? Being with an European eyes, the sites that the students have chosen, pick up, to develop, seeing which are and sometimes trying to change and trying to, of course, also the imaginary that is available sometimes is more Western, okay? Whatever is available in, that whatever AI captures are Western images. We have to build up more local images so that they can be picked up, But the professor was saying, maintain what it is, enhance what it is. Do not change, just improve what it is. That approach, that is like, respecting, and also we have seen a good example of PhD, how that has been done for the Arabian culture. We have to be able to do that with our diverse and diverse and vast Indian culture, So we see with our eyes, when we come here, we see such a potential. Wherever we walk, we see such a potential, So we have to give our students, our future architects, help them to preserve them, And one of the things I like, and he said several times, he asked permission to the students, can I share this video with my students? So whatever these groups have done in India has been shared already in one international event 15 days ago in Spain, and it's going to be shared with the students of the schools where these professors teach. Because that's why I say it works both ways. It's not that someone is coming and teaching and the other, no, that works both ways. That's why this program has been a success. And that's why I wanted to also say it has been also reached beyond the professors and the students, Because the students, and I have picked up these photos from the screenshots I had, They have gone to the shopkeeper and show him with these VR glasses how his shop will look like when that is designed, What better dissemination you can do, How can you involve people better, So they have managed to do that, With their energy, with their actually involvement, So that has been great. So that's why without much traveling, with no spending that much, okay, this knowledge transfer can happen and has to continue happening. That's why I'm here, and this is the last thing I'm going to say. We are here to plan new ways, new platforms to allow this dual direction knowledge transfer, okay? And how I'm going to do that, We are thinking, and along with the University of Navarra and the School of Architecture, where I am actually, is my alma mater, So we are also, they have already a program with Latin America running. And we are going to extend that to Asia. And we're starting from India and then Asia. And what do they do? It's an online platform, okay? Not much traveling, not much spending. But what is sometimes also the Western educational institutions lack? Students. They lack PhD candidates. They don't have. They are ready. They have wonderful libraries. They have So we are going to start a line on research and PhD online. We are going to also start some students exchange program along with some scholarships, okay, that will always help, And then also activities with colleges, and this is something that has been already proven in Latin America. And why we want to be in Europe the hinge, we want to bring Latin America and Asia, because what Latin America brings in this scenario is the same size as India, or same, or because in Europe there is not much to develop, and whatever we develop is like a roundabout, again, the same roundabout, okay? There is not much to develop further, and everything is small. So India has a dimension that has to be, maybe linked, it will be linked better with the big cities in Latin America. That's why so India through Spain will reach to Brazil, will reach to Argentina, wherever they are already working, So it's just a call to join us to make this knowledge and resources sharing program between Spain and India happen, because we need local institutions, we need people who are ready to join us and who are ready to share, as I said, this both ways learning, so that we can, of course, there may be some experience that, but the professors there are ready to keep learning from our students and from our young architects in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Maria. There was this last slide, which is to be opened. There was one last slide. Can you open this, the last part of this? No. On the presentation, there was the last slide.
Video, no?
There was a PNG slide. Anyways, on this presentation, it is the last slide. Yeah, this one. Yeah.
That's a video.
Recording stopped.
I will take this up. Just a minute, let me see. Where would it go? Yeah, this is the slide. Let's hold it. Thank you, Dr. Maria. And before we conclude the session, I would invite the eminent members present here, along with all the participants from the teams who participated, Dr. Gauri, Dr. Harveen, Dr. Kanika, and Dr. Maria to join in for a small book launch, along with Dr. Aparna Surve. Dr. Jayashree, I'm looking for Dr. Jayashree. I can't see her around here. If, Yes. So while, everybody gathers for the launch of this small manual, this can be scanned by the rest of you from this QR code. We have the details of all the lectures and all the presentations here in this manual itself. And you can go through it and see how best you can participate in the upcoming sessions. That is one. The second thing that you must think is that while technology is developing, while VR and AI is trying to really pose some level of challenge, it is right now only at the stage of what we used to have in our offices as a perspective maker. When I was a student of architecture, there were people who were perspective makers, and they used to come, they were paid to make a perspective and go back. So if you take the development of human mind, this cannot become the end point. Well, what I am really struggling with my students is that they are too much into technology and not into reality. So while this program is about VR and AI, we are trying to bring reality through the lens of VR and AI. We are not stooping below VR and AI and saying that this is the end. We are saying that human mind has got a better measure and a better acumen, which needs to be relied on. From the findings of the first presentation today, when Stuti was presenting, she presented a lot of things what VR cannot do, and I personally feel, or what AI cannot do. I had made a note of it, and it's a very interesting thing. When you think about architecture as a profession, you'll realize that this is all architects do, which VR and AI cannot do. So I'm standing here for my profession and reading this out. She says AI cannot define vision. She says AI cannot choose the right one. Feeling nostalgia, craft emotional experiences, predict the sense of belonging, understand the seriousness and impact of design, import of design, intuition and understand context. And I think that all of architectural design evolves around these only. So while AI and VR can be necessary stepneys to the scooter, they are not the driving wheel till now. They will become the driving wheel, just as AutoCAD and BIM is the driving wheel. But for now, or rather, even if they become the driving wheel, the sense of design stays intact. So the challenge is not in the sense of design. The challenge will be in staying connected to the sense of design, which a person with excessive use of these technologies could actually forget. So that is my message. Also, what I want to convey to you, before I conclude my piece on this session is that each of us here, including me, is too less. When we were designing the research grid, the whole ideation of progressing ahead with the UVCT agenda, we realized that we are too small to face our problems. And that is why we have to get together. And only together we can solve problems. In isolation, we cannot create masterpieces. The masterpiece of humanity of the future will be through a collaborative togetherness and not in isolation. We will be together in this. Thank you. I invite everybody to please come up, all the eminent. Please join us for the book launch. If anybody wants to share from my team members, from the team members of this project, or from Dr. Jayashree, or anybody who wants to take up the stage and say something, and for the president.
Very good morning to everyone. I'm standing here as a part of the team of this very prestigious program which was running for the past 6 months. I represented Chitkara University, the Chitkara School of Planning and Architecture. We were a complete team of 19 people, including 9 faculty members and 10 students. I would really appreciate the effort taken by Anand Khatri ji, the UVCT Trust, and of course Maria in collaborating UVCT with the University of Navarra, the NIUA and the COA. During this program, we received 2 VR headsets, which have been used extensively to have immersive experiences, which were the outcome of the studio exercises that we took up for these urban villages. And these VR headsets were not only used by the students, but we took it back to the community, the village of Ottawa, where people were shown how this transformative experiences can change their lives and the social setups of their urban villages. So I think in all, this complete studio program, which was a very, very significant step in taking local to global and meet the global experiences, became a worthwhile step for all of us to see how technology does not only give you the way forward, but it also helps you improve your roots where you're coming from. So thank you very much to the entire team of UVCT, Anand Khatri ji, Maria, and the rest of the team members who took up this initiative. And we look forward to continuing this work and taking, this brownfield policy to the vision of Anand Khatri, where he really wants to take it. So congratulations to you, Maria and Anand ji.
Good afternoon, everybody. I represent School of Architecture, Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, Pune. I've been one of the founder members of UVCT, and this project was introduced to us by Anand, and it really worked out well, along with 10 of my students, from a few from Masters in Planning and a few from final year BArch. All of them participated along with 4 faculty members, including me, and it was a great learning experience for all of us. All the lectures were very, very interesting and immersive, and there was this new avenue which actually opened up for all of us. The students extended their learnings not only to this UVCT studio, but also to their regular studios, and there was a lot of peer learning happening. Whatever the students learned during this studio, they passed it on to their peers, their classmates, and I'm glad to tell all of you that around 15 of my students of final year architecture, out of a class of 40, presented their thesis to the juries during their thesis vivas, where they used learnings from the studio, and even the implant students. So it's a thank you to Anand and Maria, and it was a great learning experience, and we look forward to the part 2 of this studio. So thank you so much, Anand, for involving us in this. Thanks a lot.
Now that everybody is here, we'll have a group photograph. But once Professor Abhay will come, he's just reaching in a little bit, we will have the book launch, formal book launch, you know. So we will break from the session, but we'll come back to the session.
A group picture, please.
Please come. No. Come. So nice to meet you.
I request everyone to be seated. We will have our next presenters online.
Yeah, I think while the next presentation is online, I would request this team of Anand and Maria and Urban Villages Charitable Trust, because I want to bring to your notice there is a Ministry of Panchayat Raj, Government of India, who are looking forward to document such villages and come up with ideas of funding them so that some human emotion is saved in cities. So these urban villages become a great stepping stone in cities to realize human values. All these human villages or human urban villages around airports have been engulfed by cities. You know? So Vasant Vihar in Delhi or Vasant Kunj, which is now an urban area, were actually urban villages. And therefore, so that the sanctity remains, Ministry of Panchayat Raj is actually documenting rural villages where their idea is to document a village which is on a traffic network. But what happens is, their idea is to have smart villages on the lines of smart cities so that they could fund smart villages. But I guess if part 2 of your study takes care of urban villages with funding from Ministry of Panchayat Raj, Government of India, they will be very happy to save them. In our city of Mumbai, we have several urban villages that are already under threat of being engulfed by urbanization. And I guess this study, using AI and VR, will help Ministry of Panchayat realize that besides villages in rural areas, these villages in urban areas are more vulnerable to be engulfed. So there are many people coming to cities, migrating to it, They live under horrible conditions of squatter settlements, but they choose first to go to urban villages in cities, where some method of exchange of human values survive. So I think it is a great idea that this word village remains as village. You can add urban or whatever messages you want to write, but keep the spirit of village high, because there is some kind of bonding between the people here. You know, all the important workers who work in AIIMS Delhi or hospitals in big cities actually live in urban villages. And they basically can't afford to stay into the housing of cities, because whatever is acceptable housing in cities is not affordable to them. What is affordable is not available to them. So nothing of the housing is acceptable, affordable, and available. Urban villages are the biggest rescue factor to these citizens in various places in India, which play a very important role. So I guess documenting them is a national responsibility, and I think your trust can do it so well. Anand, so congratulations for the wonderful study that you have done using architecture students. And it will also sensitize architecture students in cities who think that architecture is more an urban practice than a rural development practice. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this insightful lecture and for inspiring us to rethink the future of design, education through technology and inclusion. We are now waiting for Professor Abhay Purohit, sir. He'll arrive in 2 minutes. By the meantime, you can scan the QR code and submit your question answers on the given the iCards you have. So you have QR codes behind the iCards, and you can scan those for the Q&A, and we'll have the Q&A session shortly.
You can also fill up the feedback form. It's in the same scan code that is behind the iCard. Requesting everyone to please settle down. We are going to start in next 5 minutes. Sir is here.
I request all the dignitaries to please join the dais for the book launch.
Hi, Carlos. Q&A. Changes.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I think this. What is that? Okay. I have been instructed that I have to look photogenic. I don't know. What does it mean? All right, so it means that I have to do this. All right, so I've done it now. So with that as such, see, the entire point is that we are at Transformations 25. This actually is supposed to be a sort of a grand exercise through which we would be capable of bridging the gap with the technology, and that has to be anticipated, and through the sort of the surveys, etc., what we have understood is that this gap is of about 10 years average in India as compared to the other nations who are working on it. And the purpose has to be that as early as possible, we should be capable of empowering our students, our profession in such a fashion that maybe in a span of 2 to 3 years as such, we should be capable of bridging this gap. With the sort of the available talent and the potential of the students as well as professionals, this is always absolutely possible to do that, provided further that we do not shy away from taking help from those all who are actually willing and there to contribute with us. And so it has not to be only sort of a national, at international level, from wherever the support is coming in, we should welcome it. We should have the joint projects, we should collaborate, and thereby it is a sort of a win-win situation for all. So if that has to be done as such, the capacity building is required at all levels. And one of such pilot projects has been done. This is the Research Grid VR and AI Capacity Building Studio, enabling brownfield development studies. Now this is very, very interesting that it has been empowered by basically University of Navarra. Council of Architecture is partners to it. Along with that, we have National Institute of Urban Affairs who have joined the hands in this. And we also have Urban Village Charitable Trust. Now what does it mean? What we are looking at is that population and the urban development which is at the fringe. So it is not only about the sort of the metropolitan areas, etc., etc. There has to be a very, very sort of a balance sort of a developments which could be happening around, and the technology needs to be explored and exploited and used for our semi-urban areas, urban areas, as well as villages alike. And with that noble sort of a cause, this exercise has been executed. Almost 10 institutions were part of it. They were empowered by University of Navarra, as well as Council of Architecture, by providing VR classes and lectures, of course. Capacity building has been done. And we have seen it as a pilot project, which is very encouraging, with a very, very encouraging results. It has actually yielded fantastic results as such, and we are absolutely thrilled. And we understand that this kind of capacity building could now go on a larger scale. So that is the second phase which we are going to talk about, because when we talked about it, this second phase would again cover another 10 institutions. So 10 institutions have started already using it, another 10 institutions, and then maybe once we do this capacity building as such, this would be accelerated. Within a span of 1 year as such, the target is to cover at least 50 institutions. Now this is one part of it. But along with that, and I keep on talking about this 360 degrees of development, along with this, we have to also look at other technologies, and that's why this conference is there. Now this actually would be seen, and it would be seen that like the startups and others, how are we capable of, making the technology affordable to the institutions? Because one of the challenges is that we are providing a standard education, fairly standard education in India, but at the same point of time, technology is something which we have to look at very carefully. And we have to find out our own indigenous solutions with the cooperation of others. And thereby, in the days to come, the Council is trying to, find out as to whether the robotic arms could become affordable, as to whether the 3D printing could become affordable. Are we capable of partnering with these companies and the startups? Are we capable of nurturing them as such so that technology becomes affordable at least to the institutions to begin with? And I'm sure that within a span of another 3 months or so, we also would be talking about that kind of a scenario which would be coming to you. These are the small initiatives which Council would like to take, but I'm very sure that these initiatives would be capable of taking us to places. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. I know that this is a very successful thing. Everyone is immensely enjoying, and that's a great thing to happen. Thank you very much. Best of luck, and we are looking forward to you are going to take more initiatives, because once, see, we have a company which is known as Aja Fasaja, if you know that. And that now, AJFG and company, now I would tell you the concept of this AJFG and company. Somebody who shows some interest as such need to be empowered as such, and that person could, or that organization could take the responsibility, and then you go out. Simply walk out. Yeah? Aja, come here, Fasaja. Now you become a part of it, I am out. I think that is the best sort of a management mantra which could be ever available, AJFG and company. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks a lot.